Futures trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. I am Cody. He is Andy. Together we make up the Tech Talk duo. I guess it'd be
Tech Talk. It is a duo, but I'd say it's more of a trio.
We got Paige. Like, be a trio.
We got Paige, and like, what's a four-person? Because her cat always comes into frame. Or I forget what's like quadruplets or something like that.
Yeah, we'll just say trio. Trio sounds better.
Trio. All right, fine. It's been a hiatus for a little bit, and that's okay.
You were gone, then I was gone, but we're back now.
When was I gone? I don't think I was gone.
I think you were gone 2 weeks ago, weren't you?
I don't know. Sure. I can barely remember what I had for breakfast. And 2 weeks ago, that was a lifetime ago.
We're back. It is the middle of March. 70 degrees outside in the Midwest. A little bit of rain. And
question for you: what are you doing for St. Patrick's Day? Go.
Nothing. I have no idea. I don't even know when it is.
I'm pretty sure it's on Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah. I have no plans.
Fair enough.
What about you?
Come to Chicago. I have to go watch the river get dyed. You ever done that before?
When I lived there, I did. Yeah.
You got some grain behind you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Get your Lucky Charms. You know what? Get a bowl of Lucky Charms. Come watch the river getting dyed grains. It's St. Patrick's Day.
There you go.
Get some like green beer or something like that. I don't know.
For this Tech Talk, we are doing all spot.
Just right into it. All business. All spot. Mr. Cody, Mr. Meetings. We call him Mr. Meetings now. It was all business. He doesn't even, there's no green beer. There's nothing. We're not talking about anything, but let's go. All spot, business. All the time. We're doing all the spot markets today in order.
Boom.
Starting with Whey.
Dry
What do you think here, boss?
Looks like we're getting a little bit of a turnaround here. It's been pretty perky.
Today's Thursday, isn't it? Turnaround Tuesday?
Feels like turnaround Thursday here.
Turnaround Thursday. I would agree. I think we didn't touch anything last time we took a peek at this, and it's breaking out nicely out of this little downtrend that was in for a while, right? I mean, it broke out, had a nice test right there, kept going, and if you want to establish like a new trend, it's humming right along. I don't really have much to say other than I think you got to be super mindful of that guy right there. Is that a gap?
Is that 50 cents, right?
Your favorite right there. Yeah, especially since you're getting this kind of like nice rounding action.
Yeah.
Right? We tried to take a stab at 40 cents, couldn't do it. And we traded along that price for some time. And that area was once resistance becomes support here. And I think that's going to be, hold. So I guess the big danger would be is if you break this trend, right? We're clearly establishing a new trend. So I would say this is actually healthier price action than if you just went straight up, right? That's unsustainable. But to see these kind of just stair stepping like this, that's a nice established trend.
That's what we're looking for. A trend. The trend is your friend.
The trend, like Cody, is your friend. Paige's cat, on the other hand,
not so much.
Not anybody's friend. Knocking over everything on her table, coffee, the whole thing. It's ridiculous. It's out of control. This cat's out of control.
Terrible.
Next one, spot cheese. Let's go.
Ooh.
This one's getting dicey.
That is, yeah.
What do you think here?
It's really looking like it's making kind of a hammer formation. It is Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday, so we have one more day of trading here, right?
You're talking about this candle right here?
Yeah.
This is this week's candle?
Yeah.
Okay. To me, what we've seen here, I feel like it's going to be twice now. So you had this low, failed to put in a new low here.
Yep.
Broke out of a downtrend here, right? Broke out and are now attempting to fail to yet again make another low, right? So you just have a nice little stair steps. It's somewhat reminiscent of Whey, where you broke out of a long-term downtrend and now seems like you've trended in a new direction. Very choppy here, though. That's it's a little bit different because Whey had that consolidation and then made another leg higher, where this has just been chop city.
Right.
Futures, though, are telling us, especially even up front, April, which starts pricing next week. Talk to Joe Schmidt, by the way, about pricing.
Loaded.
Bases loaded. Let's go. But where's April cheese right now? Let's go take a quick peek. April cheddar, 161.20. Bam! I had it right there.
There you go.
How about that?
Perfect.
So this price point is where futures are telling us is going to go in our next pricing month. It certainly feels, we've been seeing continued declines in milk production. We're certainly discounted to the rest of the world. It's just in cheese, right? And so this feels like something that can hold here. But I guess the real danger is, let's say it doesn't. I don't know if you characterize it as a disaster, but if you broke through this price, which is 138.56, so just call it 138 settle on a weekly basis, that gets through this price. This is a failed breakout at that point, right? And then it could get really dicey. Now you're talking about going back down to this 134. Futures obviously saying that's not going to happen, but suppose it does, you could have a pretty big washout in the futures at that point.
It just seems like every time we get down to this $1.35, $1.40 number, we have a massive uptick in a very fast way.
You're certainly not wrong.
And then it just becomes a fact of, okay, can we sustain $1.60 to $1.80 in between there? And I think that's the big question on everybody's mind right now is, if that happens, is it sustainable price action?
For sure. So I think to me, we're at a price point where the market likes to start to move. Like it doesn't really like to sit still here. I mean, if you let's just take this line, let's get rid of this for a second, drag this bad boy all the way across. It prompted a breakout when we got here. It ripped higher. It tried to gap lower last time it came here and then ripped higher, right? I look at this and say it's a price point the market really doesn't like to sit still at. I guess for me, I look at it and say, I feel like the futures are trying to tell us something. I don't necessarily feel like we're going to go and break through this. So I guess if I had to pick one, I feel like this gap is the next thing to go take a quick look at. Just be mindful. I mean, I think if we're going to have a big washout in the futures, we need to get through this 38.5. And if we do,
say bye-bye.
So anything else you want to add to there? Or?
No, that answers that question.
That answers that question?
Exactly
okay.
what I was thinking.
So you're thinking, though, if we're doing Cody's Call, Cody's Corner, that should be like a new stick on Tech Talk, by the way. It's either Cody's Call or Cody's Corner. Maybe we can have like a poll or something.
I mean, if we're doing my call, we should put that into a poll, by the way, see what people want us to name it.
Cody's Call or Cody's Corner.
Right. Let us know. Email us in. If it's my call right now, it feels like we're going back to $1.60.
Okay.
I would agree. Cheese was up today pretty substantially, especially in the block, and it just feels like kind of gaining a little bit more of that momentum higher.
So you're thinking
where you have that gap line drawn. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that gap isn't. I would agree. And to your point too, this is the high for the week, right? 147.09. Let's say we go settle 147 tomorrow, on average. So last traded price 145.25. So if we're up 2 cents tomorrow, which isn't that much, you'd have, to your point, a pretty cut and dry hammer.
Right.
And that is typically a bullish reversal.
Yeah.
We'll see. If you did that and then open higher on Monday, then yeah, it could be go time. Go time, Cody's Corner. You need like a fireplace back there and stuff like that, and like a smoking jacket.
Yeah.
Welcome to Cody's Corner. Well, we haven't voted yet, by the way. It could be Cody's Call. Who knows?
Butter.
Oof. What do you think of here, boss?
Man, tomorrow seems like do or die time for butter here. You get up around 285, and it's like, man, we've tested there 4 weeks in a row now. If you're going to go, I mean, obviously we have to get through that point to get to our gap that we had circled at 310. That one that you have on the chart there. But
you know what this looks like to me? That's an ascending triangle, isn't it? So real fast, ascending triangle is usually a bullish pattern, right? And what it is basically you keep seeing higher lows as you bump up against a horizontal, like a flat price, right? So it's making this kind of like triangle. And then it becomes, to your point, kind of do or die time. I mean, you could have another week of kind of this like very small consolidation.
I was just going to ask you that. So you think we're going to kind of consolidate within that triangle?
You could see like another candle like this one on, week ending 8/11 or something like that, right? Or even smaller, like this guy over here. Something that stays within the bounds of the triangle. But like ultimately what's going to happen is, to your point, it's going to be do or die time, right? Yeah. What's nice about these patterns, though, is that it gives a pretty clear indication of a breakout in both directions. Like, let's say a 286 settle, like then this gap is like, especially with how quickly butter moves. I mean, this is just like right in the crosshairs. But if you break this trend right here, then you have to start talking about getting back down into this stuff, right? Where it was choppy, but we did consolidate in here for a little while. That feels like it's coming here in the next, call it 2 weeks, like right around the time Easter's over. How about that? What a coincidence. We expecting volatility in butter right around Easter. I think we should do an Easter episode where you have like pastels on, like a light blue and like a pink. I just like your corner, smoking jacket, pastels, like the whole thing. Just grow your hair out. We're going. But yeah, no, like this looks like an ascending triangle to me. It's a prelude to volatility. It's usually a bullish pattern. So the next step would be, let's say you get a 286 close or better, which is not that far away.
Correct.
I mean, it really isn't. 285.79. So let's just handicap it a little bit. What's the high here? This high is 285. This high is 284.75. Yeah, let's just say you get a 286 close. This high is 285. This looks good. This looks like it wants to break out and then go quickly fill this gap.
Agreed. Agreed.
So bullish class 4 on one side, not so much bullish class 4 on the other side. Cody's test. Look at that. It tried to go past your test and failed.
I know.
Depending on how you want to look at it.
I said no mas.
No mas.
So now the question is, do we go down to
we haven't touched any of these lines.
Right. Right. So do we go down to $1.10 where your other line is
I
drawn?
mean, it's sure failing to make this. I mean, we were trying to go for this Elliott wave.
Yeah.
It's certainly failing to do that, right? And so, what's this guy right here? Let's take a quick peek. Hang on. Oof.
115?
So, what number is that? 115 and some change.
Okay.
That right there is that low. And what's interesting is the market took a shot at stabbing through that last week. This is this week's candle. Last week, failed to do so, opened lower, and looks like it's going to take another shot at it. So to your point, what's interesting about this is that if it breaks through that 115 and a quarter area, it could end up looking like, dare I say, April milk here recently. Look at that M, right? Once it broke through here, it was like poof.
And away we go.
And away we go. Say bye-bye.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like butter at 286, right? Non-fat at 115, get it close below that. It could be a quick trip back into this, like we're talking about, like sub 110. So we shall see.
There you go.
I spoke to somebody yesterday about class 4 futures. They were mentioned that yesterday, I think there was literally no volume or next to no volume. It's
Right.
like a handful of cars traded, if that. There's been so little volatility in those futures and cash markets, right? It just feels like we've been kind of stuck at the same spots. So
After we had so much volatility the past 3 months.
correct. So now it feels like the tables may be turning a little bit.
Yeah.
Both of those charts are kind of at like the precipice of having some pretty volatile moves. So, that said, like class 4, I mean, shoot, we could just go $3 butter and go to 108 non-fat and not see as much volatility in a class 4.
For sure.
And I know that's not everybody's in class 4. Obviously, there's people that have concerns about specifically butter and non-fat. So yeah, something to be mindful of. It feels like the class 4, like the products themselves, butter, powder, are about to get pretty volatile. So,
well, I mean, that's our
We'll see.
all spot all the time.
spot, all the time.
Tech talk right there.
All spot, all the time. The trio plus a cat.
We're doing well. We're doing big things over here.
Big things.
We're doing big things.
Funny is that, like, so Paige's cat is orange. My cat is orange.
I don't have a cat. I don't have a dog.
Joe doesn't have a cat, doesn't have a dog,
All right, buddy.
doesn't have a turtle.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for this episode of Tech Talk. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Right in for the next episode. And we will see you next week.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button too, by the way.
Yeah.
I think.
Sorry.
Right?
I had a call. We got to wrap this up.